remember that when you're starting your self-portrait, to please orient or turn your paper vertically. We're going to use some of those skills that we practiced with blind contour drawing, now with a blended contour drawing, which means that we can look back at the paper, but we only do that some of the time. We'll be mostly looking in the mirror or at the picture of ourselves and only checking back to our paper for accuracy to see if what we're seeing in our mirror or in our picture matches as close as we can what we have on our paper. I want to start by sketching lightly, drawing big, making sure I'm filling the space. Just the basic contour of what I'm seeing. I like to start very loosely and lightly so that I'm not committed to any part of the drawing. I don't want to start with details. I don't want to start with dark lines that are difficult to erase because, again, I want to be just exploring with my pencil on the paper lightly about where I see the parts of the self-portrait. And now I have a basic guide, and I was looking in the mirror nearly the whole time I was doing that, just glancing back to see how accurate my observations are. Now I'm using that blind contour, direct observation, and just glancing back at my paper to see how close I'm getting. We really want to think about the relationships between parts of our portraits. So this is really getting into proportion, or the relationship between the size of one thing and where it's located in our observation. I like to skip around a little bit while I'm creating artwork. I don't want to focus in on one area for too long when I'm getting started. That also helps me to avoid getting frustrated if I have drawn something inaccurately or if I'm not noticing details accurately. So I just want to start looking and drawing and then just glancing back and not get too far along in any one place. The idea is to work my artwork all at once. So I don't want to bring any details out to a level that is more detailed or more careful than any other spot in the artwork. I'm spending most of my time looking in the mirror, only looking back to check for accuracy. I want to notice the distance between these details that I'm creating. An example of proportion would be, what are the width of my shoulders compared with the width of my head? I don't want to forget to include a neck, because we all have necks. And as I look from the mirror back to my paper, I can see areas that I need to pay closer attention to and really look in the mirror while I'm drawing to make sure that these shapes are accurate. Instead of adding individual lines for hair, I want us to notice the basic shapes that hair is making. This might be also a time to add a little bit of shading. I am not going to add color to my self-portrait. I also want to think about what to do in the background. I'm going to add some texture here. I'm really just using shading to bring out a little bit more contrast between some of the shapes. I don't want to spend a lot of time erasing, but if I see areas that need to be erased, then I should definitely erase lines that don't belong or don't add any information about what I'm seeing. Now in the background here, I'm just going to go ahead and sketch out what I'm seeing. This is something that I might have decided to do while I was working the rest of the drawing, but I got a little carried away with what I was seeing. And I'm not going to worry about a lot of detail in the background. I'm going to focus on shapes and the lines that I see. Noticing that I see a darker value in the background is also going to help add contrast and show that difference between the portrait and the background. I don't want to forget to sign my work.